Hello again, YouTube. NESComplex here. Today I want to talk about a sword-wielding, magic-casting adventure game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, Astyanax, or Astyanax, or Astyanax, Astyanox, whatever.
There are thousands of classic games, and just as many ways of rating them. But if you love retro games as much as I do, and just want to know if a game is worth playing, then only one question need be answered. Released in 1990, Astyanax joined a countless number of side-scrolling games for the Nintendo Entertainment System. But was this one any good? Let's find out. In the game, you play as a 16-year-old boy named Astyanax. He might have a baby face, but man, when you start playing, he is ripped with muscles, and it's probably because his parents named him Astyanax. When you got a name like Astyanax, you better learn how to kick some butt. Anyway, he keeps having this recurring dream about a girl with purple hair who says his name and says she's waiting. But one day, he's walking to school to Greenview High, and out of nowhere, the sun changes, and he finds himself in a new land called Remlia. Apparently, he's been brought here by a fairy named Cutie, and she only had enough magic power to get him there. The only way he's getting home is if he can meet up with a girl named Rosebud. Unfortunately, Rosebud's being held captive by Blackhorn and his evil sidekick, Thorndog. Thanks a lot, Cutie. I would rather be in Algebra 2. But at least she gives him a weapon, and you know it's a good weapon because it has a name. It's named Bash. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Another side-scrolling adventure game where you rescue a princess. Who cares? Well, to be completely fair, it isn't just a side-scrolling game. There are vertical scrolling levels as well, but that's not what makes this game different. One of the first things you notice when playing Astyanax is that every time you swing your bash, your power meter depletes and slowly refills. Now this can be upgraded in the game if you find power claws, and eventually you can have a bar that reaches all the way across the screen, and if it's fully charged, can kill most enemies in a single hit. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. It depends on the current state your bash is in. You see, throughout the game, you'll find a mini axe power-up, and when you do, you'll upgrade your bash from an axe to a spear to a sword. Every time you die, you'll regress one level, but if you manage to keep the sword, it's very, very strong. There are also 3 types of magic in the game, which you can alternate through by pausing the game and pushing up or down on the control pad. Blast shoots a fireball in all directions and virtually kills every enemy on the screen. Second type is Bolt, which basically does the same thing but with a flash of lightning and is a little bit stronger. The third type of spell is very useful and it's called Bind. This essentially freezes time for a few seconds and is especially effective on bosses. And to make your quest through the 11 stages of Astyanax a little bit easier, you'll find potions that fill up your health meter. Red ones fill up about 4 hearts, and blue ones fill it up completely. Also, Cutie will show up from time to time to give you a simple choice. Do you want to upgrade your bash or completely refill your magic meter? Play control is tight and generally responsive, but the game does suffer from the typical Nintendo problem of when you're hit, you fall backward, and there happen to be a lot of pits to fall into. Dang it! Oh my gosh! What the flip? And as annoying as those pits may be from time to time, I have to say that Astyanax is not really that hard of a game. There is no password or save feature, so you have to start from the beginning every time you play. But that said, the game's pretty easy. Until you get to Marshy. Marshy! Man, this level is annoying. But once you pass it, you should be able to pass the rest of the game with no problem. Graphically, Astyanax is pretty good. It uses big sprites for the main character, some of the side characters, and especially for the bosses. And each level is given a very distinctive feel, not just by use of color, but also just graphic design. There are cutscenes, and they look pretty good, but they drag on, and you can't advance the words. So unless you're watching them just to laugh at Thorndog, they're boring. As far as the sound and music goes, there's no one song that really stands out as a great tune, but all of the songs are above average in my opinion, where they really fit the mood and enhance what you're doing in the game. And that brings us to the big question once again, is it fun? And my answer is yes. Absolutely. And while there's nothing extraordinary about Astyanax, the entire package together makes for a solid, enjoyable game. And it's definitely worth picking up.